Monday, September 2nd, 2019. We boarded a plane with the ultimate end destination of Zambia, Africa. But getting there is no short feat. This is the story of my fourth mission trip to Africa with my coworkers and very good friends, Brian Schmitz and Mickey Kinzenbaugh. We landed in Munich, Germany, and had a 15-hour layover, so we checked out the city. It's so beautiful, and there's so much to see. We crammed as much as we could into a short amount of time. Hanging out here at Marienplatz. What's the name of this thing? Glockenspiel. It's just a huge touristy area around here. See everybody hanging out, lots of places to eat, things to do. We are just killing some time before we go back to the airport, so having a little fun.
Well, here we go, folks, singing along. Roll out the barrel.
Then onto an 11-hour flight to Johannesburg, South Africa. That leg always feels the longest. Then one more short 2-hour flight to the country of Zambia. We picked up a car, saw some local attractions quickly, specifically Victoria Falls, took Mickey's employees on a short fishing excursion in an attempt to catch tigerfish, which, if you don't know what they are, Google them. They are some nasty looking fish. During that time, we saw several crocodiles basking in the sun on the shores, and for some reason, Brian thought it would be a good idea to climb into a homemade canoe with two local boys that didn't speak a lick of English, almost knocking them out of their canoe in the process. Then we spent a good 5 to 6 hours in meetings, catching up with the employees of AgriHope. Mickey went over many things with them and utilized the opportunity to have all 5 employees in the same country. From there, we left to travel 4 hours northeast to Bitoka, Zambia, pretty much the middle of nowhere. We slept in tents on the ground for 6 nights, leaving on the 7th day. Of the 4 times I've been to Africa, this was the most remote part I've ever visited or stayed in. We were there so Mickey's employees could put on seminars and teach farming, and also in an attempt to get the last 2 to acquire their Farming God's Way accreditation as accredited trainers. I was fortunate enough to sit through an entire week of Francis, one of Mickey's employees. Francis is so powerful, the way he teaches, and has such a heart for the poor and the struggling. He did an amazing job, and I always evaluate my own life while I'm there, and what I'm doing, and how my life and walk will look when I return to the States. The village we were in was so primitive, but they were hungry for knowledge and excited to try these farming methods on their own lands when we leave. We showed them visual aids of what we were teaching, how the soil runoff is a huge problem, conserving rainwater through using cover, and planting in rows with the strategic placement on crop rotation. Then we showed them through real-life planting on landowners' land. It's great to see the wheels in their heads turning as they take in all the information. While we were there, they fed us the local cuisine. We played their sports and did our best to communicate with them, even though they spoke little to no English. At the end of the day, we would sit around, enjoying each other's company, with zero distractions from technology or social media, ending with a campfire each night. Then, at the end of the week, we watched as both Francis and Chifundo, 2 of Mickey's employees, were awarded with accreditation status. This was a huge deal, and we celebrated, as now all of Mickey's employees, including himself, are accredited trainers. My main job while we were there was to collect as much video and photography for social media in an attempt to run the social media accounts for AgriHope. Brian spent a good deal of the time helping the guys with their new laptops that came from the States, in an effort to track seminars, equipment, expenses, etc. 2 of the 4 got new laptops, and Brian helped them set them up and get their spreadsheets laid out. But all good things must come to an end. We drove back to civilization and then boarded a plane headed to Brussels, Belgium. We had a little more than a day layover there, so we headed into the heart of the city, found a sweet apartment, and saw everything you can in one day. We visited the Grand Place, which is regarded as one of the most beautiful squares in all of Europe. Visited a cathedral that began construction just a mere 800 some years ago. It was breathtaking. From the intricate stonework on the outside to the interior detail, every square inch of this cathedral was pristine and flawless. It was so beautiful, I could have spent all day there. We found some local pubs, had some authentic Belgian waffles from street vendors, and nearly killed ourselves on street scooters. All in all, the city was truly beautiful, and every corner you turned around had a different breathtaking view of buildings. It was a great finale to a busy 2 weeks, filled with love, happiness, and friendship. This video really doesn't even capture the entirety of what we experienced in our travels, but hopefully gives you an insight into what we saw and did. Then, as it was time to return home, we boarded a plane, flew to Chicago, then got in a car and drove 5 hours back to Des Moines. If you don't already follow or know anything about AgriHope, go to Facebook and search AgriHope. There are several videos I made for their page, and I post all the media, so through the year you'll get more and more pics and insight into what I saw. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really appreciate it.